How are we doing on this beautiful Wednesday morning? We're going to get right into it. So, for today's live, I'm sure some people will be surprised that Tristan Pizza is up here, but he's up here. Tim and Angela, of course, because I said if they went back to the BS, they were going to be back on the grid. Sierra or Cece, Caitlin, because you gonna call me a bitch, then I'm gonna be one. We have Timothy Nash, Julie N, or as she's affectionately known, Boo Bear, J. Paul, and then Skylin. Now, Skylin is a bolo, and I meant to put that on here because I'm not quite sure what's up with that. But it was a very interesting live. And so I thought I'd share it with you. So I'm just going to start with J. Paul. So, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me. Sorry for the delay. But for some reason, my phone didn't download all of the magnifying glasses, and I don't want to keep going out and coming back in. So I just went on ahead and downloaded them all. So I wrote down, let's see, wash, rinse, and repeat. Because we know that that's what that is, right? It's just, she comes on, now she doesn't even have the respect for the people who support her to look in their eyes and explain. She wants to say that she is, did she say she was bipolar? I'm not putting those words in her mouth. She said she was bipolar, and she uses playing her Xbox, PlayStation, whatever it is, an incredibly violent game to reduce her anxiety. Now, maybe it does. I'm not in any position to say that it doesn't. However, while you sit and relax after your quote-unquote hard day of work, other people have come home, turned on TikTok, and want to do the same thing. They want to scroll. They want to maybe laugh a little bit, learn a little bit of something, but they're trying to reduce their anxiety. They're trying to come down from their day. Do you care about that? No. You want to put them back to work. You want them to dig deep into their pockets and pull out enough for you to be able to stay in a hotel room every day. When do they get to relax? Because funding you every day may mean that they need to pick up an extra hour or two. After a while, some of her supporters might need a part-time job. Like, why is it that you get to relax while other people figure out how to take care of you? People you'll never meet, you don't know, you don't truly care about. But they're supposed to make sure you and your two dogs are good. Now, one question I have is this the Wednesday she was supposed to get paid? Because I thought she got paid last Wednesday, but maybe not. It might have been the Wednesday before. But does anybody know what week we're on? Because I know she ended up getting paid late. But I thought that was last week. That she didn't get it on Wednesday night like she thought. And I went over the whole thing. So it's supposed to be today. Okay. All right. It's supposed to be today. We'll see what happens. TikTok sucks. I don't disagree with you. But sometimes it's fun to follow the lie. We'll be doing a little bit of that today. We're going to follow the lies. You want to lie to us? Good morning. Please do. Please lie to us. Yes, thank you. Please, everybody, hit the Daily Heart Me if you're a member of the team. If not, stick around. Every time I change your photo, please double tap until you see the heart. Keep tapping until you see the tail. Fill the tail. And then take a break. And if you want to tap after that, cool beans. I appreciate it. If not, that's okay. The number at the end doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that we keep the live open. That's it. That's all. So, my account is in good standing, though. I will say that. Yes, apparently she's going to get paid today. Now, what is also supposed to happen is the $300 from Cash App is supposed to make its appearance this week. Let's wait and see. Scam opera, absolutely. We don't even hear about it anymore. And my other question is this. Rick couldn't stay out of your face. Oh, Lord. Kira has the zoomies. I apologize, y'all. Rick couldn't stay out of her face. He couldn't stay out of her lap. He wanted her coffee. And now you don't even hear the two of them move. You don't hear a peep out of them. Oh, let me know, Offer One. You know, the grid is always ready to be open. By the way, just as an aside, it seems like Medina does in fact have a job. Kira is jealous. So, good for her. Proud of her. Let's keep it going. Linda, she owes several months of her car payment. And so when she's even late a little bit, she has a kill switch in the car. So her car is there. Okay, thank you all for one. Her car is there, but she can't use it. Tooth Fairy, it depends. It depends on the job. Especially if they do payroll internally, they can. It's usually when companies use a payroll service that it takes time. So I've been quiet in her chat on a burner because I don't want to get blocked. But by the end of the week, I'm going to ask, where's the $300? 110%. Did you get your Cash App money back? Because when anybody asks, she's like, the 30 days hasn't come up yet. Well, I know by the end of the week, it should have come and gone for all of the charges. Oh, Lewis, for facts, they are block happy. They consider it an honor to block you. They consider it an honor. But I'll be watching on one and commenting on another. Because the other thing she likes to do, and a lot of them do this, they block you and then talk trash. The person can't hear you. Okay, Buttercup. Let me start writing these down, because Lord knows when it's time for me to lay down, I am going to forget. Okay. So that's all I had to say on that. Because, again, she is wash, rinse, and repeat. It's going to be the same thing. Right, Kendra Lee. She gets paid today. Let's see if she tries to pull the same nonsense that she didn't get paid. And so, therefore, Kira, I'm going to need you to find somewhere to go, ma'am. You just jumping all over the place for no reason. Let's see if she tries to pull it again. Because the last time she got paid, she claimed that she didn't get it until Friday, and by Sunday she was already begging. Right, payday and a Cash App refund. She's gonna feel like that's a tax return. Okay, Ruby Ann. And by the way, guys, thank you for all of the recommendations, all of the lives. Do me a favor, though. Y'all don't need to tell me Maggie is live. Y'all don't need to send that to me ever. I am very selective about when I go in there. She is like, nobody else is on, then I might go see her. Midnight at night. She says she gets paid at night. So we'll see what happens. And you want to know what, guys? I think that our Saturday Night Live, where we reported some CAs, I think they had some effect. I'm not going to say on who exactly I believe, but I believe it was a couple of people. Of course, AP Baby, and I'm about to blow her spot up today. Who is she? Yeah, there'll be some reason. She'll come up with some new excuse. Mama Bear, I tell everybody, because most people come into this community with their regular account. And I have been saying since the beginning, create a Beggars account and keep it separate from your personal account. Or I shouldn't say a Beggars, an anti-scam account. Because just like we can look through their page, they look through ours. And you think they don't like to dox us too? Oh, it's Ellie. She has two accounts. One is LEZBAGAY, the number 2, And the word Gether. Actually, that's not a word. The other one is a LESBEGAY 2GETHER. She has two accounts. One with a Z, and the other is an S. Right, Mama Bear. Mabel Rose, I feel you. Especially when there's nothing new. But I want to know why both dogs are completely silent. She hasn't asked for any dog food. She claims she'll never show her dogs again. But it's like they don't exist. Oh, she's an oldie but goodie. It's like they don't exist. And we knew one of her favorite bags was for a 38 bag of dog food. That's very true. No, Haley, they were never loud. They were never loud. They weren't barkers. One kind of just stayed off to the side because the other one was a bully. Rick was a bully. He would try to bully her. And not like bully her, like be mean. But like if he wanted to get in her lap, he pushed himself. He would step on the other dog, lay on the other dog's head. He would, according to her, he would try to drink her coffee and whatever. But he was constantly in her face. And now you don't even hear them walking around. You don't hear them panting. You could tell he was in the bathroom a couple of days because you could hear him whining from the bathroom. And now I hear nothing. Right. He was always all over her. It didn't matter what in the car, in a room, in her apartment. Yes, Kendra, we are aware. Absolutely. I didn't hear him at all either. I haven't heard him for the last few days. At all. Even if she got him a muzzle, that wouldn't stop him from being all over her. I wonder if somebody came and took him. I really do. Just because of the silence. No other reason. I mean, they should have been. But, yeah, she always says they're sleeping. But y'all remember when she worked at night and sometimes she didn't have to be there until 11 or 12, even though we know she was lying? Rick wasn't asleep. Rick was all over her. Granny. I'm willing to add that amendment. Right. It wouldn't stop him from being all over her. Now, she may have him. And like I told you, if she does, he may be on medication. It's not going to be gabapentin unless someone just gave it to her. But it might be some heavy doses of Benadryl. Yes, Mabel Rose. Especially when she was asking for dog food. Because she'd be like, I know you're hungry. I know you're hungry. I'm trying, Bubba. And I used to think to myself, he acts like that right after you feed him. Why are you trying to pretend like he's acting like that because he's hungry? She did. But now she's claiming she won't show them because people are trying to have them evaluated again. And she talks about how they were evaluated and that they were going to keep a note that if anybody else called, they would know. Let me just tell you something. If anybody reported the fact that her dog attacked her multiple times and severely broke her skin, it won't be about whether you're feeding them or not. It'll be about whether or not the dog is a danger to not only his owner, but the greater community. A note in the file wouldn't make a single difference. And since you did it all on live, people were able to submit photographs. Yes, those bites were bad. And if it's true that she was asleep when he did it, what could have possibly have been the trigger to attack her? Like I said, these dogs don't even bark that much. The only reason why I doubt my intuition is that I feel like she would be a mess if they took him. Like, I can't see her being this calm if they took the dogs. I am too, Cindy. I am too. But, you know, time will tell. Yeah. And while I admit, like, my cats do not like fireworks, they do not like thunder. But bite you to that extent, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, moving right along. Who's next? Let's do Cece. So, let's see. Monday evening, she has this habit now of going live while she waits for her son's bus to bring him home from school, which I'm happy he's in school every day. I really am. But she was asking for help with dinner. And then it turned into $25 for a pizza delivery. And she kept talking about like, oh, I just came from a shelter here. No, you didn't. Weren't you at that girl's house for a while? And you had stopped begging. I had stopped covering for months. When she went into the shelter, I felt like good move on her because she'll be able to gain some independence and she'll be able to figure it out. Well, Cece's figuring out is as soon as I feel a little uncomfortable, I'm going to come to TikTok and let them fix it. So she sat there and was like, oh, you know, I don't get my food stamps until the 3rd. And I was like, I thought you weren't going to beg any longer. You said once you got your housing that everything would be right. And then she says she's trying to get a job. But you wanted a pizza for dinner. Now, $25 at a grocery store would go further than a pizza. Like literally you could get 2 pounds of ground meat, some spaghetti sauce, some eggs and bacon. You aren't going to get much more than that. Let's be honest. But you could get a little something. You could have a little bit more than for one meal. But nope. She got the money and we think she ordered a pizza. course, she didn't order the pizza in front of us. She didn't do a picture of them eating the pizza, but that's what she said she wanted. And then, of course, she had to make sure we knew she had a Walmart wish list. But she doesn't want that right now. She wants the money to get the pizza. And then she's like, I'm so grateful I have a community to reach out to. Girl, this isn't a community that you reach out to. This is a community that you scam. And that you use your sad puppy dog eyes. And what I love is when they do the lookout into the distance, like they're having serious thoughts. They're contemplating the meaning of life. And then they come back to the camera. I'm like, girl, you going for an Academy Award on TikTok? Because what is that far out gaze into nowhere? And she got the money. And usually when they get it, especially if there are other people, Michael Myers, I am so sorry about your cancer diagnosis. I hope you have a full recovery. But that's why when we see people on here who have stubbed their toe and they act like they can't get out of bed for 6 months, why it irks me so bad. They act like they're the only person to have ever gone through any of this, while we all know nothing is new under the sun. If it's happening to you, trust me, it's happened to millions of people before you. So why do you feel like you got to reinvent the wheel by begging on TikTok? Anyway, so then, of course, the pizza must be gone. It has to be. So yesterday, same scenario, waiting for the son to come home from school, doing the long distance staring while she contemplates life. And actually, she tried to say she was contemplating life. So she comes on at first. You can tell that she has like the sad, down demeanor. And she's like, I'm just giving it all to God. Y'all know how much I hate that, right? Because if you were giving it to God, then give it to God. God isn't a pawn shop where you drop something off to him when you need something and then go back and pick it up and take it with you. If you're leaving it with God, leave it with God. But, it's just the saying. Because she was like, I'm giving it to God, but I sure could use a miracle. I sure hope that God uses somebody. Then she says, I got the house, but it wasn't all planned out. This is my problem with somebody like her. This is my Reed Trap. I saw you wanted to come up. I've never seen you before. Can you put in the chat what you would like to do, what you would like to discuss? Anyway, she's the kind of person that if you try to give her some advice, can we discuss what, Reed? That's what I'm asking. She would tell you she doesn't need your help. She doesn't need your advice. She got it. But now you didn't have it all figured out. You didn't have it all planned out. That's because you think you know more than anybody else. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I pray that things go smoothly and that you get good news sooner rather than later. And then she said, I wish I had people, or like God gave me a family I could rely on. Now, my thing is this. Again, Do you know how many inspirational stories we hear about people who were raised in the most deplorable conditions, whether it be their parents were on rugs? There are kids in college who are taking care of their younger siblings because their parents unalived unexpectedly. You had to want to do it. Now, will it be harder than someone who lived in a situation that was deemed perfect? Yes. But we also see where kids who have everything handed to them on a silver platter are the ones who are filling jails now because they never learned responsibility. They never learned that they would be held accountable for their actions. So who you came from or what circumstances you were raised in doesn't have to determine your future. And now you're grown. Now you're grown. So now you can make a change. But as long as you are still expecting handouts, nothing about it's going to change. Not a single thing. I don't, Mabel Rose. Right. You don't let your past define you. You didn't finish school. Go finish school. Go get your GED. Oh, she's back daily now. Daily. Then she actually said, could I have been a doctor by now? Yes. You could be. Good morning. But you can also be in the future. Might you be a little older than some of the kids you're in class with? Yeah. But so what? So what? Yeah, I saw that, Rita. Excellent, Mrs. Michael Myers. That's what I mean. I had a baby at 19, so I didn't get to go straight to college. But you think I didn't go? And did you think I didn't keep going? I was grown. I remember being the oldest person in class. But I was there for a bigger purpose. So, of course, she does the wiping of her eyes. And I was like, I didn't see a single tear, but I wrote down she couldn't get 5 tears out. And then the moment someone asked what she needed, there was no more tears, no more rubbing of the eyes. That's all she was waiting for, was that opening. We're back to we don't have any groceries. And I wrote, there it is. But we'll be all right. If you're going to be all right, then why do we know? If you're good, why do we know? Haley, they just copy each other. They figure out what people are saying and doing to get money, and then they employ it. She was like, we'll be all right. We get our stamps on the 3rd. But instead of getting food yesterday that could last a few days, you got a pizza. You got a pizza. And if it's just you and your little boy, y'all went through the whole pizza? Or maybe she ate the rest for lunch. I don't know. And so somebody talked about her doing a Walmart order, and she was like, I really don't want to give my address out. I 100% support her in that. I wouldn't either. But then someone said, well, what about a Walmart pickup? I don't have a car. But then I wrote, I thought we were going to let God handle it. I thought we were going to let God handle it. And that's when she did that off in the distance staring. And I was like, this is hilarious to me. Sometimes I write my commentary right in with my notes. It's just manipulation. That's all it is. And then she comes back, I guess just don't know what to do. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what to eat for dinner tonight, y'all. So then this was the funny part. I shouldn't say funny, the interesting part. Somebody said, I sent you $100. I know that's right, Mama G. What do you mean somebody sent you $100? And honestly, I thought they were trolling. I really did. And without a blink, she was like, oh yeah, I got that. But they took most of it because my account was overdraft. Excuse me, what? And then she was like, well, half of it. And she was like, I appreciate it though, because now my account isn't negative. And now I could receive payments on Vimo. Excuse me? Yes, Sassy Squirrel, send me a DM. I know the woman who sent her $100 was pissed. But my question is this. Is that the same woman who paid for the pizza? Because that means you should have had $50 left over. No? Unless you use $25 for the pizza. But we were still like, well, then you should have $50, right? $50 should give you enough food between now and the 3rd. Mind you, at this point, someone else had sent her money. And so she started talking about DoorDash delivery fees. And it was like, well, Walmart delivers for $10. Flat fee. It's actually $9.95, I think. Flat fee. You could get five groceries or 150 groceries. It's $10. And then any sort of a tip you'd like to give. And then it came out that she has Walmart Plus, which means delivery would be free. Well, when all of that came out, she decided she wasn't there for it and she ended the live. She didn't even say goodbye. She just ended it. Did we touch a nerve, Sierra? Cindy Lou, that's only for like shipping. When you're having it delivered by a person, it's $10 unless you have Walmart Plus. Sherry, 110%. 110%. This isn't new for her. She scammed so hard when she was living with her boyfriend, which is funny to me because she tried to make it seem like he was the thing that was holding her back. And here we are. I haven't heard him beg since he did that initial trying to beg, and people were like, "You're right." Why'd you end the live? Because people were clocking what they knew about you and it wasn't making you look so good because you clearly had the money. Right, it was all his mama's fault. I'm side-eyeing you, girl. But then she talked about how she talked to her son's principal and they have a program where they send like some food home at night and send like food packed for the weekend, which I think is amazing when school districts are able to do that because it helps children so much. At the very least, the kids have something. And at the end of the day, that's what I care about. But it's only Wednesday. And we have 2 more days until the 3rd. Let's see if we have another beg for dinner. Or whether she took the money she had and went on ahead and got some groceries. This is the thing. You don't have to cook fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, potato salad, deviled eggs. Like, you don't have to cook like it's Thanksgiving dinner. You could get some frozen nuggets. You could get some frozen Eggo waffles or pancakes or, some pre-cooked bacon. You can get some, pastaroni. What is it? The shells. All you got to do is add ground beef. You can not have to really cook. But it's more cost effective than eating out every day. Hamburger helper, yes. Willow, I hope that his school has that too. I really hope that his school has breakfast and lunch and then they send home something. Because it's been proven that children who eat are able to concentrate better. Right, a tuna sandwich is cheap. Add some chips to that. I used to make tuna fish and we would have it with crackers. And sometimes that's all you just needed something to hit the spot. Good morning, good morning. Listen, a good grilled cheese or even better like an egg, cheese, and bacon. An egg, bacon, and cheese rather sandwich. Oh. Hit the spot. Now, Boo Bear is up here, Miss Julie, because I'm sorry, you don't get to be a hypocrite. You are in other scammers' lives, Maggie in particular, trolling her while she's live. On your Facebook, I think you just copied or you shared it from TikTok, but it was the think piece on Faith. What is her last name? Longhorn Faith, that's in the wheelchair, that has done the absolute most. Have you seen? Oh, good morning, Granny Annie. Whenever I see that, I know it's you and you're here. Thank you. Have you seen where somebody put out a video where Faith always crying about needing money, wanting money, but she sent like a $2,800 gift to the makeup guy. And then to Toya A, she sent her a 5,000 coin gift. Jeffree Star, yes. Ma'am, you don't need money if you're throwing like that. But I really think she does it because she wants to be noticed. She wants them to say her name. Faith needs some self-esteem, because do you know how many other people give him gifts like that and better? And he doesn't need the money. So you throwing him a big gift, he might thank you in the moment, but he's not going to remember your name as soon as the live is over. Right. But then the people who need their money are the people giving her money. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. I got to go to work every day. And I'm using my money to give it to Faith because I want her to feel better about herself. And she's turning around and giving it to people who don't need it. That makes total sense. And that little boy, whatever his name is, Eric or whatever, he needs to get put across somebody's lap and have his ass whipped. That's what he needs. Because the way he talks to people, women in particular, and Faith doesn't care because it's in her defense. But if someone even slightly talked to Faith that way, she would make the house fall down. Are you kidding me? And I don't like hypocrites. But Boo Bear is one. How are you checking Maggie? Because I asked her about it. I was like, how are you coming in and talking about Maggie and you're in here begging right now? And she's decided that she is the arbiter of what is okay begging and what isn't. She's like, I don't beg every day and I don't ask for this, that, and the third. Who made you the person to say, well, my beg is okay, but hers isn't? Because as far as I'm concerned, if it's a beg, it's too much. So now she claims she has a job in housekeeping and she does 40 plus hours. She didn't want to, but she had to because she had to work to keep them benefits. And she's like, well, now I'm not worried about losing my benefits. Well, I'm going to lose some of it because I'm working, but I won't lose all of it. She's another one who thinks she knows the answer to everything. If you know the answer to everything, pull yourself out of the situation you're in before you start offering other people advice. She's in there and a gentleman, I think it was a gentleman, was talking about how they were disabled and they labeled like 3 or 4 things. And she was like, and they were like, I'm not drawing a check. And she's like, if you're disabled, you're drawing a check. What they were saying was they were disabled, but they haven't been deemed disabled by Social Security. So when she realizes that, she's like, well, you need to get a lawyer, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and blah, blah, blah. How about you pull yourself out of your situation? Huh? How about you figure out how to fix your life so you don't have to beg? Instead of being Miss Know-It-all that runs around the app feeling like she can be a hypocrite. Because she sure was. My gift goals is I can't forget what she was calling the gummy bears. But then she was like, and I'd like $20 or more on my CA so I can get cold drinks. Excuse me, what? Why should anybody give you money? You want something cold? Drink water. Drink water. Why should anybody give you money so you can have something cold to drink? Right, scam opera. But in her mind, she's okay, but Maggie isn't. I wonder why. Right, Izzy? I bet you he doesn't know. Because he's out there working all day. What you say, she don't beat around the bush? I got a bush for her to beat around. Of course, Game Opera. She feels like she is more entitled than the money to the money than Gabby, than Maggie ever could be. Of course she shuts down real quick. Because I bet you he doesn't realize that she's begging. And the way she speaks to people. She thinks she's a Billy Badass. Behind the screen, you can be anything you want to be, boo. I'm glad she got a job, though. Let's see how long she keeps it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm drinking coffee. I didn't sleep last night. And I thought about canceling. I really did. And I was like, no. Because instead of going to sleep, I'd just be laying there thinking, I should have went live. So I just went on ahead and went live. Red Productions, because they want to live beyond their means. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Or Trace, I'm not sure. You don't like the way Maggie does it, so you can sit in judgment of her. I don't like the way you do it, so now I can sit in judgment of you. Right? Okay, Wendy. Let me write it down. By your logic, I can sit in here and judge you. So, there I go. Okay. So, let's correct the record on a thing. So, whoever's running and telling her that I'm streaming her, let's get it straight. That is a static photo. I don't stream anybody. Stop confusing me with people who stream. Yes, please like the live until you feel the heart's tale. I don't stream anybody. Okay? Let's get that straight. That's thing one. So, apparently she likes name dropping here lately and decided she was going to name drop me and call me a bitch. Well, you hadn't met the bitch yet, but you're going to meet her now, and you're really not going to like me. And I, in no way, shape, or form, said that you unalived any animal. But what I'm going to say now is if you can't afford to take care of them, if you can't afford to take them to the vet, you're not a rescue. You're not getting donations for rescuing animals. You live in a house where y'all have to wait on the mother's Social Security check to have food. Why are you picking up dogs and animals and cats and everything else off the side of the road? At least bring them to the ASPCA or to a shelter or to a rescue if you want to be helpful to animals. Mind you, and I'm going to skip ahead for a minute, according to her, she's leaving back to Illinois next week. So what you going to do with all those animals you brought there? You just going to abandon them? the funny thing is, she really did think that coming for me was going to make a difference in her favor. That is the wrong thing. And I don't remember who said it, but I love you for saying it. Somebody got in the they were in the comments and they said, "Welcome to the grid." Girl, you're asking for a permanent spot coming for me in a way that isn't true. You don't have to like what I do, but don't come to me and don't lie to your people, because not going to happen. Of course, many have tried. All have failed. Because I talk about what I want to talk about. You can do it on here, I can talk about it. So, let's see. At one point, she was asking for $5 to $10 for food so she can have a good day. Excuse me, what? And then later on, she said that the food is expired. And I wrote down food for humans or food for animals. One never knows. But none of the animals go to a vet. They don't get a vet check. Even when she realized they had scabies, and it literally got passed to the humans and other animals, so that 2 dogs unalived because of how bad the scabies were. Still nobody went to the vet and nobody went to the doctor. And to make matters worse, she said that the dog looked healthy. She didn't realize it had scabies. Then, girl, you don't need to rescue animals. Please, let's stay focused on what we're talking about. If you want to talk about anything else, turn your light on and talk about it. But why are we talking about documentaries about bears? Like, am I not talking? Am I boring you? I don't mind having other conversations about other things. But dang, I could go to bed and y'all could talk about bears. You're worrying about picking up animals off the side of the road. Have you fought this hard for your baby? Oh, thank you. Have you fought this hard for the baby you had? Or are you using getting animals off the street to replace the fact that you didn't do what you should have for your own child? But again, she said that she's leaving. She has a job lined up where she's going. So that means you're going to leave the animals. Who's going to take care of the animals when you leave? But is this what you did to your child? You went through the process of having a child and then didn't take care of her. Is this your reputation? Is this how you would like us to see you? So then yesterday, she was acting strange again. And again, she was asking for money. And of course, she has a TikTok stalker. Don't they all? Who has been posting her for a year. Then she asked if anybody had Facebook for Facebook Pay. What? And I wrote down, didn't the mom get her Social Security check just the other day? And then my question is, why don't we ever hear another person while she's live? She always talks about how somebody's coming home and somebody left and the mother. I don't hear anybody, no matter where she is, inside, outside, day, night, never hear another soul. Now, I'm not saying they're not there. It's just weird. It's just weird to me. Then she was like, I need something to drink because I'm concerned about the quality of the water. So are you giving the dogs and cats bottled water? Or are they getting the water that you're concerned about? And somebody was like, well, water is better than city water. And I've heard that multiple times. A lot of people prefer well water over regular water, over city water, I should say. But again, oh, well water isn't better? I've heard quite a few people say that. They say well water is the best. It doesn't have to go through all those pipes that break down and you know, you end up with stuff in your water. Well water isn't healthy, it's gross. I guess it depends on how long the well has been out there, if it's being maintained, etc. Right, no chemicals. Why do you get to lay around and play with animals while other people have to go to work to give you money? Somebody needs to make that make sense for me. You guys don't even seem excited or anxious or like truly in need. It's like, yeah, I need $20 because I need something to eat. Who can send it? Can anybody send it? Because I need it. It's like you're bored with your own life begging. So then she said, will someone DoorDash me something? I'll give you the address. Are you willing to give the address because you're not going to be there next week? Like, what about maintaining other people's privacy? Ashley, let me tell you. Someone asked her a question she didn't like, and she too ended very quickly. Oh, you wait till I get to Tim and Angela and doxing themselves. I got one for you. But I want to take us back to the day that she called me a bitch. So I heard she was talking about me, so I went in and I requested a box. You guys know, don't call for me because I'm coming. And of course she wouldn't let me in the box, and I know why. Because she wanted to be able to continue to lie. And I said to her, why are you lying to these people when you and I had a conversation? And she said, yeah. I said, you were asking for my advice. She was like, no, I was asking you to take me down. Did she think I wouldn't have the screenshots to prove otherwise? Let me show you. Bear with me. So, you can see it's her account. She reached out to me on Wednesday. I didn't see it because I certainly wasn't expecting it. And she said, hey, you can message me here. Heard you were streaming me. So she didn't even know. According to her, someone told her. So I said, I stream no one, but I have been watching. What is happening with you? Something seems off. And she said, I'm not off at all. And I made sure I put a little bit of the last one so you can see that I didn't miss a single line. You're going to show proof. Make sure it's so that people don't think that there's something in between that's missing. So then, that's where she said, I'm not off at all, not getting abused. So I said, so then why are you saying you got kicked out and you were afraid because he was coming and you needed to sleep on concrete? Why are you telling people you have to walk through snake-infested woods in order to eat? Because that's what she said. So she doesn't say, I didn't say that. She says, can I talk to you, please? Can I give you my number? And I said, we are talking. I meant to say we are talking about it. I left off the it. She said, when you message, what you messaged, I can't type it all. Again, I understand that. And she said, my number is, and as you can see, she gave me her personal telephone number. Let's see what I responded. So, same pet. You see the telephone number right there in the middle? I said, sweetheart, I don't need your number. Are you in danger or not? And she said, I just want to talk to you about what was going on, okay? I'm not in danger. Needed advice. So I said, do you have Instagram? She said yes, and she gave me her Instagram handle. Okay. So as you can see, I sent a little gift and said, okay. So we went over to Instagram. And I said, we can chat here. You can call me from here. I was willing to talk to her. When somebody says they need advice from me, I try to fulfill it. Perhaps I could say something that could make them what, I don't know. So she says, okay. And then she says, wait a minute, gift came in. I can't see it. Thank you. She says voice call. That is the last thing communicated. And as you can see, this was Sunday at 6:16 p.m. I went live, the sub live at 7. And I hadn't heard from her since. So for her to get up there and say, I stream her, and that B, she asked me to take her photo down off the grid. Where? You didn't even indicate that. You said you needed advice about the situation. Where did you ask me to take it down? So now that I'm a bitch, I'm gonna be a bitch. So I want y'all to take a look at what her Instagram page is all about. just some of it. Just so you know. And she has a Snapchat too. What I realized is that they've been using TikTok to send people to the Instagram and the Snapchat because they sell their pictures for money. So this Instagram page is just a thirst trap. You want a little bit more? Pay me some money. I'm a bitch? I sure am. I hold on to that wholeheartedly. Now I'm a bitch. Because now I'm going to blow you up. Don't you ever in your life think you're going to be able to lie on me. Don't do it. Especially not when I was willing to talk to you. I didn't say, why are you begging? Why? I was like, are you okay? Because this is weird. Something is off. And you then assured me that nothing was off. So now I want the people who follow you to know that that was all BS. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't scared. She wasn't put out. She didn't have to sleep on concrete. It was all a skit for her. Sorry, I don't mean to traumatize you, baby. It was all a skit for her. To get y'all to feel sorry for her. At one point yesterday, we could hear this noise and someone was like, what is that? And she was like, it's my stomach growling. But then she said, when he gets home from work, he's going to ask me what I want to eat, and I'm going to tell him nothing. Again, who are you hurting? Or was all of that just to see if you could get somebody to send you cash? Caitlin, you can mess with a lot of people. I'm the wrong one. Because I keep it a buck. I was willing to hear you out. I was willing to hear what was going on. I was willing to talk to you without judgment. And then you tried to turn that around on me and make me look like the bad person? Well, welcome to the grid, bitch. Welcome to the grid. Hope you like it here. Because as long as you're scamming, I'm going to be there. You can block as many accounts as you want. You won't know it's me. I promise. Trying to lie and tell them people, oh, I asked you to take me down off that thing. No, you didn't. We didn't have a single conversation. There was no more. If we had had a phone call on Instagram, you could see it. And y'all know I'm not giving her my number. And in fact, I told her, sweetheart, I don't need your number. We were both typing at the same time. I don't need your number. It's all for show. But if you'd like to spar with me, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go. And you better not leave all of those animals unattended. You better find something for them to do before you walk out. It's one thing that you have people that could pick up your daughter and take care of her. Who's going to take care of those animals? Because clearly you can't. You don't know how. You don't have the skills nor the money. I don't know if losing her daughter was for show. But I know this whole thing about being outside and being afraid and thinking she had to sleep on concrete. And people were like, oh my God, get in the car, lock the door, run, do it. Because they really thought she was in danger. And with your own words, It wasn't real. Your own words, it wasn't real. So y'all know how I'm going to do. I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it. Right, Allie. You gonna lie. Okay. Well, let's let the proof speak for itself. Oh, I'm posting it. Believe it. Who's next? Well, somebody asked, and I obliged. And I was only able to oblige because he, didn't have a puppet. Because as soon as I see that doggone puppet swipe, I can't do it. I cannot do the puppets. But my thing is this. Why are y'all giving him money so he can hitchhike across the country? Do y'all know how dangerous hitchhiking is? And if he is as slow as he appears and sounds, which I don't know if he actually is, or if he just has a speech delay. But if he were to be slow, do you know how much danger he is putting himself in hitchhiking from one place to the next? Oh, I took this picture from his live. I just snapped the picture. Yes, he is on disability. While he was live, I just snapped the picture. And his face was so far in the screen, I couldn't actually make it smaller to see his whole face. But so what? So, he literally is the male version of Maggie. People feel bad and they want him to experience life, so they keep giving him money. And they're so deeply invested in him going from one place to another. Well, this economy is getting ready to get even tighter. Now that there's a government shutdown, if you think this is just going to affect government employees, it's not. Wow. He calls people who say he gets SSI snitches. Yeah, I heard that. He did say that he starts work in Sacramento soon. What is it, the second week of October? Yeah, he will be called up for work in the second week of October. But according to his mother, whoever was managing was his payee for his SSI. You are a federal worker. I'm sorry, Rockin' Robin. They need to get it together and stop posturing. Both sides. Both sides needs to stop posturing. What you mean you're going to use the military to get what you want? What? And then you guys always asked for a clean CR, so why you didn't do it? So nobody gets a pass in my book. But back to him. He gets a check. Y'all are already paying for his travel, for his food, sometimes for the hotels. And y'all gotta pay for his broccoli, as he calls it. I have never heard. You too, Allie. Thank you. I have never heard people come up with, I knew Mary Jane, ganja, the weed that you pull, but lung lettuce, broccoli, like y'all have come up with some of the most imaginative names for the green stuff. Why is he smoking so much of it? And why are y'all paying for it? Yeah, gardening supplies. The devil's lettuce. I'm like, y'all can't. If they use this creativity for something good, AI might not be getting ready to take over the world. Like, y'all could do all of this, but you can't do anything to work to earn it. Why are y'all paying for this man to travel around the country? Like, what is the lore? White Sox, we've been doing good. Let's not, come on. You can't lay on the book. I need it. But yes, come on. Come get next to me. There you go. Good boy. Oh, by the way, y'all all know I had a conversation with Wyatt probably 2 weeks ago. The Wyatt that's married to the older lady. And he was like, I'm leaving. She's in the hospital. I got my ticket. I'm leaving. Well, last night, I went in his live and I said, well, I've given you 2 weeks. What happened? Because I could hear her right there. And he announced to the world that last night was going to be his last TikTok because he needed to get serious and take care of his family. Yeah, Wyatt and stuff. Guess what? I won't waste any more energy, any more breath, or any more time on Wyatt. None. He's not going anywhere. Because he needs a mama, and that's what she is. He needs somebody to tell him what to do all the time. He can't think for himself, do anything for himself. The only thing he can do is listen to her. So he enjoys being there. I'm going to leave him there. And everybody else needs to too. They're like, I love the way you sing and blah, blah, blah. Why don't you love him enough to tell him to get a job and get them off the street? Because until him singing on TikTok is making him money, it's a hobby. Right. Let his mama raise him. Go ahead. I'm done. And it's probably not a bad thing that you're getting off of TikTok. Because your wife doesn't like you getting advice from people. Oh, that's cute. Thank you. Yeah, because she doesn't want him out of her sight. As she told me, he's her caregiver. Some care he's given, they're outside. But anyway, I keep jumping all over the place. I'm sorry. So I saw him yesterday, and I believe they gave him enough money for his broccoli, but he was going to be hitchhiking somewhere else. I always say this. I hope that if something happens to him, all these people that have been funding him all this time step up and say, I funded him to his own demise. Don't go hiding. Don't run and unfollow him because you don't want. Make sure you stand up and say, yep, I was here for it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching him day after day put his life in danger. Because y'all could just give him a bus ticket. Really? I know. No, he's not Wyatt. This is Tristan Pizza. Completely different person. But when I saw Tristan, it made me think of Wyatt. Mama G, I can't either. But somebody brought him up the other day, and I happened to see him, and I stayed long enough to get a tidbit. And what I got, what I did get, I didn't like. He was asking for money for snacks and drinks, but had McDonald's, had drunk the soda, and was like, well, we'll be okay. Whoever he hitchhiked from, he gave them a sob story, and they got him a hotel for the night. I don't understand why people are fascinated with the least of us. I don't get it. I don't get why they support him or Timothy Nash or Maggie or Lisa for that matter. Where has she been? Yes, Kevin. His mom has said that the payee is no longer going to do it because he harasses him for money constantly. And apparently he was put in place because Tristan owes money for an accident, and he was supposed to be holding a portion of the check back to cover it, I guess a little bit every month. But he has been getting harassed so much by Tristan that he's giving it up. Is he? I don't know. And maybe when they hear him and he starts talking, they feel sorry. But people out here are nuts. Right, Luna? I got a house on the water I'm trying to build. Let's go. Oh, it did. I think it's called Got Bamboozled is the account. Right, Luna. Let's make it happen. I give you 9 hours. Do I need to give you 12? And then y'all will start taking care of me? And White Sox says he needs his own room. Right? Tell him. Say, I need my own room away from Kira. So that's all I got on that. Because like I said, it's not going to be something I can watch regularly. At all. Okay. Skylin. She's a bolo. Right, it's 400 people in here. If everybody gave $10, I could have the down payment to put the concrete floor in. So Skylin is a bolo because I have only watched her. They do rule the whole house. That's for fact. But he wants a room to get away from Kira. Or I should say, Kira wants a room to get away from him. They need separate time. Which is why Kira sleeps on top of a bookshelf. To be able to get away. Anyway. She was sitting. What I now know. They have a cat condo, but White Sox can reach her on the cat condo. He don't necessarily like heights. So she gets to go up there and get peace. They have a cat condo. They're spoiled. The one thing I do want to get them though is the running wheel, the cat running wheel. That I do want to get. Okay, focus. So my spidey senses went off, and you know when my spidey senses go off, I start writing. Thank you, Connie. So she started off. Wait, let me set the scenario. She's sitting on the floor inside. It turns out that she's in a bathroom located near like a public pond or whatever, and probably people are out there fishing and stuff like that, so they put up a bathroom. So she's in the women's side on the floor. She has 2 dogs with her. Of course we have dogs. Now I can understand if you're in kind of the country, you're a woman, you're alone, I could understand why you would want to have dogs. But 2, when you can't afford to feed yourself? But anyway, she starts off by asking for a portable heater and a power bank. And I wrote down, her requests are awfully specific. I actually wrote down, this is a strange request. So what she said was that she's been homeless for over a year, but her boyfriend took her to her hometown and just abandoned her there. She has no contact with family, but dang, in your entire hometown, you don't know a single person you could call? Darlene, listen, I actually asked in the live, who's with you? Because you can't tell me that I didn't hear another person. But I was like, she's going to say it was the dogs. So after that, I stayed quiet. But why? If you are sitting on a bathroom stall with 2 dogs, and now I know the 3 of you hadn't eaten at all that day, you asked for a portable heater and a power supply? I guess she had said something about getting, oh goodness, worms, because I guess she was going to try to fish. But when somebody asked her about it, she was like, oh, I left the worms at the gas station. Well, how you get from the gas station to the pond, man? Something about this doesn't feel right. It's in my gut. I'm telling y'all. She ignored every single question I asked her. Every single one. I was like, have you reached out to a homeless shelter or any nonprofit that could offer you assistance? And someone said I was rude. How is that being rude? And Conte, listen. And if you needed those to eat, what, you left them? Okay. And I wrote down, I know I heard somebody whisper in the background. I know it. And I was like, did anybody else hear that? And one other person was like, yeah, good morning. Only one other person said yeah. And, her sycophants, no, she's alone. Why would he bring her to her hometown and drop her off and leave her there if he knew she had no one in that town? Oh, you did, Stephanie? I know. Listen, she was new to me too, but my spidey senses said she's a bolo. She said she was sleeping in the bathroom at the pond, but then later on said, I have to hurry up and pack up because they come around midnight, I guess to close it up. So how are you sleeping there? But again, someone asked her if she had eaten or if the dogs had eaten. I can't remember which one. And she said she nor the dogs have eaten that day. So, y'all haven't eaten, but your ask was for a portable heater and a power supply? Well, this was just a picture I took off of her page. I didn't even think to take a picture of her from that day. And it probably wouldn't have come out right because she literally was sitting in the dark. Yes, she's from Utah. To me, food would be the priority, especially for my animals. Not a portable heater and a power supply. Now, don't get me wrong. I can understand why a power supply would be important. But before food, I don't know. So then her sycophants decided, guys, let's get together and put her in a hotel for a week. So she's like, oh, the closest hotel to me is $561 a week. I call bullshit. It's literally what I wrote. She got $150 in less than 20 minutes. She got $150 in less than 20 minutes. But now that wasn't going to be enough. That could have put her in the room at least a day or two. Better than sleeping on the floor in the bathroom that you must get kicked out of every night at midnight, right? You're a bolo for now. But my spidey senses are rarely wrong. They can be. I don't always remember everything. I mean, I'm not always right. I just happen to be standing on the right side of the street most of the time. But I could be wrong. But my spidey senses say, something doesn't feel right. I don't know what part of Utah. I just wrote down Utah. Right, we'll be watching. And let's hope you stay off the grid. Good morning, Sharon from Detroit. Right, that's all I got to do is sit back and watch. And we'll see what happens. Jill, you're funny. It's rarely wrong nowadays. It can be, but it's rarely wrong. Listen, if you guys can make sure she can get food to feed her dogs every day, I am not mad at that. The dogs, just like children, didn't ask to be picked up by you. Right, Darlene. Please don't add that pressure. Like Moni sitting there crying about what she can't get. Don't get me started. Good morning from Illinois. I'm shouting out to y'all from Florida. Even though this isn't, I'm from Connecticut, but I live in Florida now. Here goes another wash, rinse, and repeat. But y'all have to be kidding me. Y'all have to be y'all have to be kidding me. So of course he came on multiple times yesterday. And what I love is how he could straight up lie. And Fran and Miss May and Nikki eat it up like it was God speaking to them himself. He says nothing wrong, even though I could catch him in 45 lies. That is willful ignorance. Right. How can you, you can't tell me that you hear the same thing I hear, but you don't pick it up? You don't get it? You don't see where it doesn't make sense? So when he came on, he claims he had just gotten off of work and he wants lunch, $20, an air mattress and bug spray would be very nice. But $5 to $10 would be amazing right now. So somebody sent it. And he got off immediately. Listen, $2 check. When you're paying for it yourself, you find what you can eat based on what you can afford. When other people are paying for it, you can eat lobster and steak. Ask Tim McCord. This is Tim Nash. He got off immediately. And I told y'all exactly why. He's calling that friend of his. That's who he needs all this money for. Because if your air mattress popped, why you ain't show us a popped air mattress? And I told y'all on Monday, you have an electric pump for the air mattress. We heard you use it the other day and watched you walk with the air mattress to your camp. So why do you need a hand pump? He said he needs $28 for a mattress and a pump. Then it was another $10 for food. And lo and behold, he needs $40 for his pain meds. He needed another $78. And then what cracked me up is that he claims that he went on the second interview for the second part-time job and he got that job too. Really? For someone who could get a job at the drop of a dime, you damn sure can't keep one long enough to get a more than 2 paychecks. In some places, 1. Of course. Mattress pump, meds, it's all for rugs. He was like, I haven't asked y'all for medication in a long time. Well, you said you paid $345 for it, right? And when did a month's supply of his pain meds cost $40? Exactly, Cam. And he works hard. And there's always something wrong with his paycheck. I know, that's what I'm saying. He mentioned yesterday that he only needed his pain meds. So he wanted another $78. Right, third on the list. You must not need your pain meds, and I know why you don't need them. Because you're high as a kite on other things. The real pain meds you take are something you get from your buddy. You get your meds from a street pharmacist, sir. And then he went on this tirade about how we don't really care about him because how many of us get off live and think about him? Are we supposed to? Are we supposed to shut the phone down and lay in the bed next to my man and think, I wonder how Tim Nash is doing? Sir, what? And so someone was like, you don't think about us? And he was like, yes, I do. I remember when you're sick. I reach out to you myself. I remember when a family member of yours is sick or if they have to have surgery and I reach out. And I say, no, you don't. You might remember your mods. You might remember a big spender. But you don't remember everybody, nor do you care. You care about how much money they have in their wallet and how quickly they are willing to separate from it to give it to you. Chill, he doesn't know anything about paying anybody back. He says it because it sounds good. He has absolutely no intention. Gaming is my jam. I'm sorry, but I hope you feel better and I hope you recover swiftly. He was like, there's 141 people in here. If everyone sent $1, I could survive until my first paycheck. Sir, that would mean that you got one. And we know how you are when it's time to get paid. The other thing is that he claims he has to end the live to see if he got the money. Every app I know sends an alert. Even my bank sends an alert. I think he logs off to call his street pharmacist. And then he'll come back on for a few minutes to act like he doesn't just get off when he gets the money. Seeking more, let's be clear. And then he gets off when they get there. What I have to say to Fran, Nikki, and Miss May, help him. He needs your help. Good morning, Duchess Becca. I saw your video. Thank you. I reposted it. Y'all fix it. Y'all fix it. And stay out of our lives. Because now I believe you're only there for intel. You weren't really a friend of having a senior moment. You were there to figure out who we were so that you could go into other lives and tell people their awareness block them. Their awareness block them. She was never a friend. And the idea that you think that you could be friends with somebody who is either a scammer or hangs out with scammers, or you can trust them, if the last few weeks haven't shown you otherwise, I can't make you see it. None of them have your best interest at heart. Do not link with your enemy because they are an enemy of your enemy. That doesn't make them your friend, because the only thing you agree on is the fact that that person is your enemy. So you're going to compromise yourself because you don't like somebody they don't like? Congrats, Kayla. Have a standard. How am I suddenly going to like a scammer because they don't like a person I don't like? Suddenly they're scamming, they're begging, they're lying, no longer qualifies? Y'all let me come in here and tell y'all I'm friends with a scammer, and I expect people to come in the box for the whole 3 hours and give me the business. Please. Told y'all. I don't want to live in an echo chamber where people tell me whatever they think I want to hear. Nah. I need y'all to keep it a buck with me. I need y'all to keep a bucket with me. Y'all see me heading down some path that don't sound like me? I need y'all to come in here and say, hey, what you doing? That doesn't seem like you. It's weird. Well, we'll be back. We know Timothy will be back. You know, I was thinking about something the other day. When my integrity was getting questioned and people were like, I said, I take notes. I say what I see, and other people confirm it because they're in there too. And then I give my commentary. And they were like, why would they want to hear what you saw if they could see it? And I was just laying here thinking to myself, what is the difference in what I do than someone who makes a recording of a live and posts it? Didn't we all see the live? So you post it to highlight things that you think either some people might have missed, or if they missed the live, they missed the things. How is posting a video about a live any different than me talking about a live and adding my commentary? It just struck me as odd yesterday or last night. That's what happens when I can't sleep. I start thinking about things. So, let's go with the good old McCords. TNA. So, of course, they're back to begging every day. And one of the things that pissed me off about them yesterday and their beg was because when they didn't need to ask the general public for money, whether he used his paycheck, I know that he was getting money from people on the back end. He was asking people for money on the back end. But while he didn't need that money, he never came live. And it pissed me off because what you have said to your entire audience base is that you only matter when I need something. Oh, he admitted he was asking on the back end. Well, I guess he knew we knew already, so there ain't no point to lying about it. Oh, they'll be back today too. But what happened to just having conversation with the people who like you, who care about you, who have sent you money in the past, who haven't asked for it back like it was a loan, even though you agreed to pay people back? What happened to caring about the people who have been taking care of you for months? they didn't matter because you didn't need all of them. And I'm sorry, at this big age, you haven't developed a thicker skin, you need to go do some micro learning on self-esteem and having a thick skin, because there are very few places you can go in this world where everybody's going to like you. Everybody's going to think you're great. Some people aren't going to like you. Some people may even talk about you. What are you going to do? Crumble every time? You're going to crumble every time somebody comes in your life and says something? But you're not even consistent with the people who care about you. Why would they give you their money? And I will say, they gave him a little bit of a run, not for his money, but for theirs. They really made them wait until it was dark. And I think that they got the money, the majority of it, from people who don't know them. So please, if you are one who can kindly send a note to someone that says, please be careful, even if it's after they sent it, please do it. But please be kind. But I have some things to share. Some thoughts about some things. So this is a calendar of the month of September 2025. And let's be very clear. This is if we believe that Tim is being honest, which is a huge stretch, okay? So don't tell me about what you heard other places. This is if we can believe Tim. He said on a live that they were mailing him his last check on Friday the 26th. Now, why was that important? For a couple of reasons. For one, people were saying to him, they should have given you your last check when they fired you. Well, no, they couldn't do that because Tim hadn't been to work for some time. He said he has a place where he gets mail. Probably the brother-in-law's house. Or somebody they know. But they couldn't give you your last check because you got fired over the phone. You weren't at work. So the whole thing of I'm going into work and then he got fired was a lie. Tim hadn't worked for some time. Apparently, it initially started as we're going to let you take some time because of the letters. And when he ran out of money, he was just asked out. Sometimes, even if you have direct deposit, they will mail you the final check. Because if you've earned any PTO, vacation, sick time, they want to wrap it all up and they'll send you a hard copy check. Some businesses will do that. And part two, because they want to make sure they turn off your direct deposits. Yeah, he was on till it was dark. I said they gave him a run. But I want you to pay attention to this. So if he got hear me out, if he got a paycheck sent to him on Friday, that would mean that he had to work between the 7th and the 20th. They don't hold a check. So the check before this one would have been on the 12th. which means he would have been the last week of August, first week of September, which would have gotten paid on the 12th. If he has a check coming, that means that he worked at least one day between the 8th, but the 7th to the 20th. And it depends on what day they start. So if it was the 8th to the 20th, 7th to the 20th, somewhere in that neighborhood he went to work. I venture to say he went to work on the 7th or the 8th. But that is if he is getting a check like he said he was. He did get paid bi-weekly is my understanding. That's why I put 2 weeks. He may not be getting a check. But I was just thinking to myself, if they were mailing him a check on Friday, that would mean he would have had to work within the 2 weeks prior. I want to know when he knew he was fired. Just a thought. But let's go a little further. So if you were around, you may not have been, when he ended the job at McDonald's, of course people in his chat were immediately, file for unemployment. So I did a little dive to see if he could even earn unemployment in the state of Tennessee. He may have worked the whole first week of September. That wouldn't affect this check. This check would have started the second week of September till the end of the third week in September. But we'll see if he gets money. Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry you didn't get a notification. I don't have any restrictions. That means y'all aren't tapping enough. Where's all the taps? Where are all the taps at? Right. They do think we're stupid. So I had gone over what he would need to qualify. And first of all, the unemployment had to have been of no fault of your own. Okay? Now, I'm going to show this to you as an example, but I want to read it to you first. You must have qualifying base period wages. So, don't worry about understanding it right now. I have a chart. It says you must have earned an average of $80.01 in each of 2 quarters of a time frame called the base period. And a second highest quarter must be over 900 or 6 times the weekly benefit amount. If you've earned sufficient wages during this time frame, the wages earned will then be used to calculate your weekly benefit amount and the number of weeks you may receive benefits. So, I'm going to show you their example and then Tim's actual. So at the top, you can see that if you filed in the quarter of January, February, and March, the quarter above it gets skipped. And then the standard base period would be from October of the previous year to September of the current year. And you will have had to make $780 in 1 quarter. And 1 quarter would be October, November, December, or January, February, March. Then you would have to have a second quarter where you earned $900 at a minimum. So let's look at Steve's I'm Steve. What am I talking about? Tim's time. So, he got fired in September of 2025. So that's when he would have filed. Okay? September of 2025. That means April, May, and June of 2025 get skipped. Now, does anybody remember what month they worked at McDonald's? I know, Steve Crick, you're right. Does anybody know what month he was working? I'll tell you. I believe it was between May and June, because that's when I did these charts originally. So if that's the case, when he worked at McDonald's, that wouldn't count towards the period, it should say the standard base period. I did it upside down. There's a reason it was upside down. So that means he would have had to have been employed from April 1st of 2024 to March 31st of 2025 in order to qualify for unemployment. Now, if he worked during those months and in 2 separate quarters earned the minimum, he may qualify. But this is the thing. If that's the case, he also would have qualified when he filed in June. Something tells me he did not work the required hours in these quarters to qualify. But if he did, that will be the only way. Otherwise, he wouldn't qualify. Correct, if he quit, he wouldn't get it either. But in case he's watching, he needs to go back into his records and see, where did he work and did he earn enough? Because if not, all the filing to unemployment will not make a difference. Sir, I'm going to need you to keep a job a little bit longer for 2 separate quarters in the qualifying base period, or else you are consistently not going to qualify for unemployment. No, if you quit, this is the thing. If you quit this job, but your qualifying hours were for another job, you may get it. Hey, no arguing in the chat. Calm down. Whatever has happened has happened. Well, whether he quit, whether he was fired, whether he was laid off, based on what I know, he still won't qualify for unemployment. So, sir, you need to get a job faster rather than later. The job gave him emergency funds? Maybe, but he was still begging for people for money on the back end. Yes, a little bit. That's true. But it helps when the job you quit from isn't the job that you're getting the qualified numbers from. Oh, and I told you guys, Yeah, he's not going to risk the food stamps. They depend on them too much. But the other thing, I told you guys, I got a very well thought out DM about how housing works. And the story that they lost the apartment to a woman with her child would be an absolute lie, because housing doesn't put a mother and a child in a one bedroom, but they would put a couple in a one bedroom. So that's a lie. That is a lie he's telling over and over and over again. So whether you believe any of the things that I've pointed out today, if he told the truth, this would have to be the truth. He lied to everybody about why they got passed over for housing. It sounds good. And if you don't, this is the thing. You can work after you get housing, but in order to get housing, you can't work. It's like disability. You can get a job after you get disability, but if you're working before you get it, they consider you able-bodied. Yes, I'm talking about TNA. Japonica, they can love them all they like, unless they are willing to lose everything they have, or they are independently wealthy. All the love in the world is not going to take care of Tim and Angela. They need to take care of themselves. And just like with the rest of them, Angela, if people are paying for you to survive, I think at the very least they would appreciate a hello and a thank you. You laying up in the bed, watching TV with your dog on your phone doing you, while your husband is outside in the car begging. Why is he outside? Does he think that by being outside it's going to look more urgent? We already know that you don't work. You're not anywhere. So why does he have to go outside? Or was it done to make it look like you guys were already out the hotel? And then when somebody asked about you, he couldn't lie. He had to be like, oh, she's in the room. Like, what? You can put up a background. Jordan Paul does it all the time. But listen, even when he was in the hotel room, she wouldn't come and say thank you. I remember one time he wanted to go to the bathroom. They were laying in the bed next to each other. He wanted to go to the bathroom and he asked her to hold the phone to talk to the people, and she said no. Listen, the fact that they say she had cancer and she didn't is enough for me. Of course, they're going to use every other ailment. And I'm not saying that disability doesn't get it wrong. But if you're really disabled, you give up after you get denied the first, second, or third time. If you are really disabled, you keep fighting for it. You don't let months go by. You reapply and then appeal and then appeal and then see a judge. You also have to have doctor records. If you only go to the county every 3 months to get a prescription, that's not going to be enough. Right, Love Rules Me. It often requires an attorney, depending on what you have. Tim Nash could get it immediately if he really had stage 4 cancer. because the prognosis is so low. Yeah, Harley girl. When it comes to disability, you don't pay the lawyer. The way it works is if the lawyer gets you the disability, he gets a portion of your payments. So it is in their benefit to help you get it, because that's how they get paid. You don't have to come up with a dime. And if you lose, you shake hands, they go one way, you go the other. So, what would stop you from applying and applying and applying? But this is the thing. The lawyer has to believe you have a case. Because why would he take a case if he didn't think you could win? Because then he can't, he know he's not going to earn any money. That he would literally be wasting his time. No, I don't think so, Mabel. They don't even talk about filing. He just says, oh, she got denied. Well, I think you can appeal 3 times. Because most people get a denial the first time. They automatically deny you. Then you appeal. They deny you. You appeal again. And I don't know if you have to appeal one more time before you see a judge, but then the final stage is you have an in-person with a judge. And this is what's crazy. They will often have, like, I can't remember what they call them, but they're like a job analyst of some kind. And based on your ailments, they say, is there a job that they could do? Now, this is the crazy part about that. It doesn't have to be an actual job that is available right now. There just has to be a job in the market of the United States that could accommodate your illnesses. It don't even have to be a job that's available. No, you don't get it for obesity. Morgan, it depends on how long you've been seeing the doctors, what treatment you've been getting, and have you been consistent in your treatment. It's not just one note from 4 doctors. That will not be enough. And you have to be consistent in the treatment. Because if you're not consistent in the treatment, then they feel like you're not taking your illnesses can't be that serious. So seeing a doctor just to get medication refills, not going to be enough. Yeah, because you just have to have the paperwork. And you have to have the medical documentation to prove it. What a lawyer does is he's able to see what you have and say, you need this, this, and this. Your doctor needs to say this, this, and this specifically. Because unless your doctor can have thorough notes, if it doesn't make it clear that you are unable to work in those notes, it won't matter. So, why would you give up? If you really thought that you needed it. But we all know she can work because she loved her job at McDonald's, remember? Yes. And there's actually a report that comes out that shows which state is easiest to get in and what state it's hardest. I believe the last time I looked at it, West Virginia was the easiest state to get disability. The Northeast, it was the hardest. The military and regular disability, two totally different kinds of disability. They do not compare at all. Well, that's all I have for this morning. And I'm actually happy because now I can go to sleep. I didn't sleep at all last night. I appreciate you all for getting up with me. You guys inspire me even on days when I think I'm not going to come live. Like, it has to be something for me not to come live. I appreciate you all. Again, thank you. You being here is what keeps me going. Yep, White Sox already knows it's nap time. He better go get in his spot, though. I love you all. Please be safe. Please hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. Please pray that this shutdown doesn't last long because I want you to understand that there are people who will be forced to go to work without getting paid. Your TSA agents, they have to go anyway. The military, they have to show up anyway without getting paid. So it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you are on, your fellow Americans will be hurting if this continues. I may cover her some more, especially since she wanted my account to get taken. I just haven't caught up with her lately. But don't worry. The list never goes too far from anyone. So, you know what I always say? Please spend a minute of your day on self-care. Whatever it looks like for you. Whether it's skincare. As long as you don't see it as a chore. It can't be a chore. Try meditating for 10 minutes. And I told y'all, the meditation I want you to try to do is I want you to sit there with your eyes closed and still. And every time a thought comes to your mind, I want you to let it pass like a cloud until you can get it so that there is nothing there but dead space. You will fall asleep. That's okay too. That's okay. It's the effort that matters. It doesn't matter the outcome. So please, guys, have a fantastic Wednesday. If I do not see you in the streets, I will see you Friday morning. Friday is going to be a short live. I can tell you that in advance because I have an appointment. And this time I did take it because I missed it last month. So I had to take what they had next. But please have a blessed day. And I will see you all soon. I'm out.